Your cat does far more for you than you realize, not in obvious ways, not with grand gestures or loud affection, but in quiet, instinctive actions that happen every single day, unnoticed, uncredited, and unthanked. While you go about your routine, your cat watches, listens, senses, and reacts. They adjust their behavior to your mood, your energy, your presence. They protect, comfort, and adapt, not because they were trained to, but because connection is written into their instincts. This video reveals the hidden things your cat does for you without you ever realizing it, the silent roles they play, the invisible support they offer, the small sacrifices they make simply because you are part of their world. Once you understand these quiet acts, you'll never look at your cat the same way again. 1. They adjust their behavior to your emotional state. Your cat notices changes in you long before you say a word. Your tone, your movements, your breathing, even the way you enter a room. All of it is information to them. Without you realizing it, your cat quietly adapts to your emotional state. When you're stressed, they become more watchful. When you're sad, they soften their presence and stay closer without demanding attention. When you're calm, they relax more deeply around you. This is not coincidence. It's emotional synchronization. Cats are extremely sensitive to subtle shifts in energy. They don't try to fix your emotions, and they don't overwhelm you with affection. Instead, they regulate themselves to create balance in the space you share. They may choose to sit nearby, sleep longer, or move more quietly, all to avoid adding pressure when you're already carrying enough. You may never notice it happening, but in their own instinctive way, your cat is constantly adjusting itself to make your environment feel safer, calmer, and more stable. That quiet emotional awareness is one of the most overlooked things your cat does for you, every single day. 2. They keep silent, watch over your environment. While you relax, work, or sleep, your cat is constantly scanning the world around you. Their ears track distant sounds you can't hear. Their eyes follow movement you never notice. Their body reacts to changes in the environment long before you become aware of them. This isn't curiosity, it's instinctive vigilance. Cats are natural sentinels. They position themselves near doors, windows, hallways, and elevated spots not randomly but strategically. They listen for unfamiliar noises, observe unfamiliar movements, and remain alert so you don't have to be. When your cat suddenly sits up, stares into another room, or changes posture without an obvious reason, they're often responding to something subtle in the environment, a sound, vibration, or presence that hasn't reached your awareness yet. You may think your cat is just staring or acting strange. In reality, they are quietly monitoring the shared territory you live in together, without training, without reward, without recognition. Your cat keeps watch not because it was asked to, but because protecting the space it shares with you is written into its instincts. 3. They modify their routine to match yours. Your cat has its own natural rhythm, yet without you realizing it, that rhythm slowly bends around your life. Mealtimes shift closer to when you wake up. Sleep happens near the hours you rest. Moments of activity appear when you are most present. This is not coincidence. It is quiet adaptation. Cats feel safest when life is predictable, and once you become part of their world, your schedule becomes part of their sense of stability. They learn when you leave, when you return, when the house is calm, and when it is active. Over time, they adjust their own habits to align with yours, even if it means suppressing natural instincts. A cat that waits near the door at the same time every day, naps through your work hours, or becomes active when you settle down isn't just following routine. It's syncing with you. That synchronization creates harmony in the shared environment. You may think your cat is simply used to your schedule. In reality, it's a quiet compromise, one you never asked for, but one they made anyway. 4. They absorb tension and create emotional grounding. Without realizing it, your cat often becomes an emotional anchor in your space. Cats are highly sensitive to changes in atmosphere, not just mood, but tension in movement, sound, and energy. When stress enters the room, they don't confront it. They soften it. By lying nearby, stretching out, purring quietly, or simply remaining still, your cat introduces calm into an unstable moment. Their slow breathing, steady presence, and repetitive movements help regulate the environment. This isn't comfort in a human sense, it's biological grounding. A cat's purr vibrates at frequencies known to promote relaxation and stress reduction. Their stillness slows the pace of the room. Their predictable behavior restores a sense of normalcy when your thoughts are scattered. You may think your cat is just there. In reality, they are counterbalancing emotional noise with calm consistency. They don't solve problems. They stabilize the space so you can. It's quiet support, unnoticed, but powerful. 5. They stay nearby. When you are vulnerable, without demanding anything. When you are sick, exhausted, overwhelmed, or emotionally low, your cat often changes its behavior in a subtle but meaningful way. They don't ask for play. They don't demand attention. They don't interrupt. They simply stay. Your cat may lie at the edge of the bed, sit quietly in the same room, or choose a spot where they can see you without being intrusive. This is not coincidence and not habit. It is intentional presence. Cats instinctively recognize vulnerability. In the wild, weakened members of a group are monitored closely, not crowded. Your cat mirrors this instinct with you. They stay close enough to observe, far enough not to overwhelm. They are not trying to comfort you the way humans do. They are offering something quieter, stability. Their presence says, you are not alone in this moment. You may never consciously notice it, but when your cat chooses to remain near you during your weakest moments, they are doing something deeply instinctive and deeply caring, without asking for anything in return. Your cat does far more for you than you ever notice, not with loud affection or obvious gestures, but through quiet choices, subtle adjustments, and instinctive presence. They adapt to your emotions. They watch over your space. They align their rhythm with yours. They soften tension without asking questions. They stay when you are vulnerable, without demanding attention. None of this is trained. None of it is forced. It happens simply because you are part of their world. Once you recognize these silent efforts, you stop seeing your cat as just a pet. You begin to see them as a quiet companion, one who gives more than it ever takes. Now I want to ask you, which of these hidden things does your cat do for you? Share it in the comments. Sometimes noticing is the deepest form of appreciation.